How many times do you guys think to yourself, when am I going to get my next drink of clean water? Probably never, right? Because we are fortunate enough to have access to clean water anywhere we go. Now imagine that you're in a developing country where access to a cell phone or a tablet is actually easier than accessing clean water. As you can see from this chart, sub-Saharan Africa, the very bottom of Africa, is very water stressed. That is the area that we will be focusing on. Women and young girls are responsible for fetching water. They bear the burden of walking miles upon miles a day, almost 6 hours a day, fetching water. They get their water from streams and ponds with a 40-pound bucket on their head. 69% of the 13.5 million women and the 3.3 million children report that they have spinal cord issues. And 40 billion hours are lost each year, detrimenting their health and preventing them from pursuing opportunities outside of their traditional roles. Which leads us into our second problem of education. Half of the world's developing schools, including all of sub-Saharan African schools, are without clean water. Water and education are both vital resources in illnesses from drinking dirty water, and the time it takes to collect the water rob communities of their future. Access to safe drinking water and sanitation allows them to seek opportunities such as work and higher education. And it also helps break the cycle of poverty while increasing their overall health. Hi, my name is Hailey.
I'm Tessa.
And I'm Tyler.
And our solution is called the water cycle. It is an efficient and self-sustaining purification system, giving people in the sub-Saharan African countries the chance that they deserve with clean drinking water. Our process, the first step is using an induction base and a metal rod. This will create an electromagnetic field, heating the water to a boil, which kills disease-causing microorganisms and activates pathogenic bacteria. The second step is a filtration process using gravel, sand, and charcoal. It kills pathogens, bacteria, protozoa, and parasites. The last and most important phase is the ozone disinfection process. It eliminates the usage of harsh chemicals such as bleach and chlorine, meaning that there are no byproducts and in turn saving more water. This is also more efficient than using harsh chemicals, and the ozone turns into oxygen. The process is actually fairly simple. The ozone penetrates the virus, and because ozone gas is so unstable, it essentially just kills the virus. This is what our system looks like. We have some updates in the process right now. You can see the solar panel. That's how it will be using solar energy. The water will then be placed into this tank here. Is there a pointer? Into this tank here, where this is the induction base and the metal rod that will heat the water. It will then go through this pipe, through the filter, and then lastly in the ozone gas tank. And then after that, it'll be placed in a holding tank, but we'll have those features updated fairly soon.
All right, so this map should look familiar. I just wanted to point out this far right here arrow is Kenya, the other one is Uganda, and that far one there is called Sierra Leone. Now, why do these countries matter? So these countries are actually partnered with the Water Project, and the Water Project has approximately 250 projects established in the last year. We learned this information after speaking to Maggie. She's the communications director of the Water Project based in New Hampshire. Maggie informed us that the Water Project is on track to implement 300 projects in the next year. This kind of gave us a number of how many projects we should expect per year and annually. Maggie informed us that they can't just jump into these countries and implement these machines. They have to build those relationships. It sometimes can take up to 3 to 4 years to build those relationships, and even then they have to maintain it. They have a partner on the ground in those countries that helps to maintain and keep the machine running. Each machine will help to provide clean water for up to 300 to 500 people per community. How? These machines, like in the Water Project, they have them positioned near schools. Like Hailey said, education is a huge problem in the sub-Saharan Africa region. By placing the machines near schools, we're going to be able to provide clean water to school-aged children so they can maintain healthy. How we're going to fund it through education grants and fundraising, which Tyler will hit on later during our business model. Another thing that Maggie informed us for the water project is they don't just pick random countries to go into. There's actually an application process. The people in the village fill it out and they submit it, and then those partners go in and they check it out and make sure that it is what it is they say it is. They don't just want another well or a sand dam or a holding tank. They actually need it. So some information I gathered from the water project site. It actually says that they partnered with, the Global Women's Water. They actually partnered with these women who had no training whatsoever. They trained them, and now they have won 14 awards, 13 graduates are serving, and they've raised money with their products and services that they've trained them to do. So it's not hard to have someone on the ground to maintain the machine. We would hope to partner with the Women's Water Initiative because women are the main people who are carrying this water and taking the time out of their day to do so. And also Maggie from the Water Project said that our company would be something that they would be interested in working with. Okay, competitive advantage. As you can see, the water cycle meets all of these qualifications, whereas the ozone generator only meets 4, and the water is life straw is only 2. For those of you unfamiliar, water is life straw is a temporary solution. You can use it when you go hiking or a short trip, but you have to be directly over the water source. It only lasts for a couple gallons and then it's done. Whereas the water cycle would be completely self-sustaining and be able to maintain its functionality.
So I'm going to touch base more on costs. The solar panels are going to be roughly $245 with shipping and tax. The magnets for the magnetic friction that we're going to use is going to be roughly $200. We're going to use a 1,000-gallon tank, which is $600. And the pipes and the filters, it's going to be roughly around $150 depending on what type of materials we're going to use for that. And it's going to be roughly a total of $1,200, which is cost effective from the previous graph because it is less to make and it's more sustainable than a well and dams. And onto our business model, some key partners, Global Women's Water Initiative and the Water Project. Global Women's Water Initiative will be our main focus because they are the ones that reach back to us. Some key activities would be clean water awareness campaigns, Facebook, live events to raise awareness, donation events, and fundraisers. And some key resources would be some customer channels, social media, and word of mouth. And some key metrics in the sub-Saharan Africa, such as Kenya, which has the highest rates of education exclusion. About 60% of the youth between the ages of 6 and 17 are not in school, and across the regions, 9 million girls between the ages of 6 and 11 will never go to school at all. And touch base back on Maggie, which Tessa said earlier that she gave us more feedback on our product and was really intrigued with it, and also just wanted to reiterate that it does take time, like it did in Kenya for them. It took them 3 to 4 years to build that relationship. And also for our customer segments, it will be great for schools that we get there, for the education grants, for people to go over there and to educate them, and for the application for approval to do so. And our value proposition, it's for water and energy companies here looking to increase self-promotion and local awareness of water availability of less fortunate places in the world, and the water cycle is the best solution for that. And it's unlike other water reformations that do not exist, and current ways of getting water is not viable or safe. The water cycle creates an eco-friendly way to get clean and efficient water to people. And in conclusion, with the water cycle's ozone replenishing and water cleansing cycle, less fortunate people will no longer have to walk miles for water. It's more effective, more efficient, and less likely to get sick from polluted water.